Hello out to all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another Pitch for Switch video. And this time I'm going to name this particular idea Fight Me. Obviously, the name kind of sells itself. It's a fighting game based around the Mii's. And before anybody goes and says, well, the Mii's are in Smash Brothers, why would they need to have their own fighting game? You could take them from Smash Brothers, even some of the moves that they have from Smash Brothers, but make it a more traditional styled fighting game. Now, there are examples of this on Xbox Live, or at least on a 360 in the indie games section. There were people who made some fighting games using the avatars that Microsoft put out because they were allowed to use them for their games. But I was thinking that Nintendo could go to someone like Capcom and be like, well, we know that you've made this particular type of game like Rival Schools, which I think would be a perfect launching point for this. We want to make a game with our Mii characters where you can basically have your own custom your own fighters, own custom fighters, and it's not like this is something that Capcom hasn't done because again, Rival Schools they've done that with it. But in this sense, you would have Mii's like the person is the lead in this game. You are the lead in this game. So I would say, and they could throw together any crappy like kung fu story that they want to. And they could even make specific Mii's for the game that are in the game's code, and they're only in that code. I mean, I guess they could make it so you could download them to your Mii maker from the Switch. I mean, that wouldn't make much of a difference. But when I look at it, I'm thinking to myself like, Mii's have a whole lot of potential, and they've put them in several games already. They deserve their own dedicated game. Like, and again, Fight Me. Like, you could just take. You could have characters with like Street Fighter esque moves. They have King of Fighters type moves. And I say along with talking to like the companies back and forth, and maybe even have like some special guest characters as Mii's, like have Ryu from Street Fighter, Kyo Kusanagi. I said that wrong. Kyo Kusanagi from from King of Fighters. And I'd say most of the games, like the characters that don't have like like weapons, like where they just fight hand to hand. So have like a Hihachi from Tekken or Jin or Kazuya, uh, any of those characters with move sets that match them, like with their own move sets from those games. Like, and I think that would actually be pretty cool. And then they could have it set up so that this game gives you special QR codes where you can share your Mii's with your friends, when you can post them online or whatever, and it'll copy the exact move set and everything about your Mii and give it to the other person. Like again, this is something else that could create social interaction between people, and on top of that, it could be a legitimate fighting game. And if it's based on the Rival Schools Project Justice type engine, where you have the 2D fighting, but you have like the 3D element of being able to dodge and maneuver around in a 3D arena, but you still fight on a 2D plane, basically. To me, that would be amazing. That would be awesome. And I would pick this game up practically immediately and be playing the hell out of it. And I would probably go nuts with this because I'd probably end up making so many Mii's and probably have to be swapping people in and out because I'd probably fill the roster up too fast and have too many of them sitting there. But I mean, hey, you get QR codes, you just save your QR code and put it somewhere. You just put them back in later. Like I think that would be pretty damn cool. And on top of that, the thing is though, how many character slots would you want open for something like this? I mean, I would think that they would want to make their own original characters for it, utilizing the Mii Maker and stuff like that. And I'd hope that the Switch's Mii Maker is more like the designer that's on Miitomo, where you can change outfits for the characters and stuff like that. And that would be another added bonus, being able to give your characters different outfits and different sets of clothes and stuff like that. Awesome, would be fun. Uh, give them projectiles and things like that. All this stuff is something I think that they could really legitimately do and make a awesome fighting game out of it. And then on top of that, that would make the fighting game seem far more. It would be the most unique fighting game in the fighting game scene because basically every character, everybody out there, their characters, their Mii's could travel with them to tournaments. They could have their own Mii's and take them to tournaments. And if something like that happened, I mean, and I wouldn't want any banned moves and none of that BS. Nothing be banned. Like, it's a customizable game, fully customized characters. You can make your Mii play the way you want to. You can make a character that fits your style perfectly. And like the more you play the game, you unlock additional stuff with like later updates. And I'm taking this from like Splatoon as an example. Later updates add in more move sets. Like there could be literally thousands of different moves, and everybody's character could have tons of different move sets. And again, this is like I said, we're talking to different game companies and like having their characters featured and their move sets featured would be awesome. And again, giving the characters, you could also give them these super moves and things like that. All of this stuff could be wrapped up into this game and make it a vicious, fun experience. And on top of that, it could actually be a serious fighter where everyone is literally their own unique character. And like, if somebody beats you, you just have to adjust yourself to how to. You have to adjust yourself for how you got beat, which could make you play better and you can make your character better on top of that. And I think that would be pretty nice. Now, as far as the Mii's classifications go, you'd have light, medium, and heavy. Light being fast and they can't really take too much of a hit, but they can get in tons and tons of combos and they'll have movesets to fit with that. Medium being able to, they're kind of quick and they're kind of sturdy, but at the same, they just fit in the middle. They have a decent amount of speed, they have a decent amount of endurance, and they have a decent amount of power, and they can take hits and they can give them. Like, but they would be overpowered by the heavy Mii's and they'd be outpaced by the light Mii's. It's just something to add strategy to it. And then on top of that, the heavy Mii's, they have the highest endurance, and they have basically the most strength. And again, they'll be slow, but they would have move sets to reflect that. And on top of that, add in being able to adjust stats. Like depending, like you could have a fairly fast heavy Mii, but their speed can only go so high. Like maybe if we're going to do a 1 to 10 scale, then their speed can only go up to like a 7.5. Like so, to like they can be fast, but they can't be fast. They can't be as fast as like the lighter or the medium Mii's. Whereas their speed could, the medium Mii's, their speed could go up to like in we'd say the heavy Mii's go up to a 7, the mediums will go up to an 8.5, and then light would obviously be a 10. Like that's like where their max speeds can be. Like just thinking about it, or maybe that might be too much. That might be a little bit too much. Maybe not do that because that would just overcomplicate things. Like, but I don't know. That's an idea to think about and toy with. That might be something worth adding because it's just another layer of customization, and it's another thing to add to the strategy. As far as building your Mii and building your fighter basically and setting them up for going toe to toe with other people's Mii's. Like, and just throw in all the standard game modes. Have an arcade mode, have a versus mode, a training mode. Um, Obviously a creation mode where you create and build your Mii, um, or import one of the two, create or import. Um, Online, being able to play online against other people, and since all of the assets are going to be in the game, everybody has them. Like just have the updates. Like and again, I would say free updates because you're the whole point of this game is to be able to make your own custom version of yourself and put them in there. So, like you as the person playing the game is you're really the person creating the content for the game. Um, Trying to think, the only other thing I can think of is being able to import arenas, but that might be too complicated of a thing. Like, crap, my daggone microphone, I dropped it. What I was thinking is to be able to import it. And why I said rival schools, why I chose rival schools of Project Justice as the style of game is because the floor itself is a plane and the background is separate from the floor. I mean, they could set it up where it does mimic whatever image you put into it and makes part of it the floor where your characters battle and then the background is around them. Like I could and it kind of just like spins and rotates like that. That could actually be pretty cool. I think that might work. The only problem is you'd have to have your background set up in a way so it loops and doesn't look funny, which that could be fine. I don't know. My brain is tinkering with a lot of different ideas. I might actually come back to this someday, talking about it. But I was just thinking because that would be a good way to add stages to the game. Like you don't want them to have to overload it. Like, but again, how many stages would be the limit, or would it just be an editor that will allow you to build a stage, and you can place certain objects within it? Like I like both of those options, or maybe like a combination of the two. That would probably be pretty cool. Like a combination of those ideas. I think, yeah, that would work. I think that would be cool. Like just like having that happen. Oh, I don't know why I didn't think about that before. That way let's say you're playing online, and you want to build a stage, but you don't like any of the backgrounds that they have in the game, then yeah, being able to put in your background and it wraps around like that, that would be nice. Like where it wraps and loops, I think that could work. Um, I just don't know what sizes it would have to be. Like that's another curious question there. Like what size would they have to be in order for it to fit and to work? So like there's a lot of stuff to think about. Like but it would open the game up to a lot of creative stuff, and then on top of that, like with that, you could create your own stages for your characters. I don't know about importing music though, because that might be a problem. I mean, maybe if they're like working with the companies, like with the different companies Nintendo would work with, like I said, with Capcom, SNK, and the like, Namco and them. I think having like alternate versions of their character songs, like stuff like what's done with Smash Brothers, where you have like a bunch of different remixes of certain songs. That might work as far as like having the music in the game instead of importing a bunch of different songs. It just has tons and tons and tons of remixes of different songs from different fighting games that you could use. Well, I think that would be pretty cool. Like all of that would be a sweet package for a fucking fighting game for me. And then like you'd have your QR code for your Mii fighter, and then you could have your QR code for your stages. See, it would all work its way out. It would all work its way out in a long run. And I think that that would be pretty cool. And they could make it a QR code as well as a character code where you have like a for Mii's you have like a 12-digit character code, and like for stages like a 14-digit one. There you go. That way, if somebody can't use QR, if they can't find the QR code, somebody can give them the digital code, like the character code, and they can put it in, and it'll still arrange it the way it's supposed to be. I think that's all I have to say about this. But you guys tell me what other ideas you'd like to throw in there, because this to me is a fascinating thing. Because Mii's themselves are super versatile, and have any game that would be focused on them would have to be just as versatile to be a good game. And for a fighting game, all of those options and choices and all that customization, that would be astounding to be able to have all of that stuff in there. So like it's just like on my mind. I'm just thinking about it, and this is like, I mean, I guess you could use weapon type fighters too, because I mean there are the hand to hand combat games that have weapon fighters, like Vega, for instance, for Street Fighter, or utilizing Samurai Showdown as an example. All of those characters, so I guess that works. It would just depend on how they set it up, and if they would allow you customization options on like the design and look of the different weapons that you could use. But that would also, I think that'd be pretty cool. All of that, if they added all of that in there, that would be nice. Like, I swear I wish I could talk to somebody at Nintendo and just have them hear me out on this. Like, just hear me out. Just listen. Like, if you think this works, just let me know. I think it would be pretty cool. But but that's it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears up for more stuff from me. And until the next time, please enjoy your games. And again, just throw your comments down at the bottom. Let me know what you guys would like to add, because I am so interested in seeing what everybody wants to say. Peace out.